Welcome to Envisioned Broadcasting Radio, your station for empowerment, music, and talk radio. EB Radio presents Empower Hour with Jaresha. A show that shares the stories behind the journeys of leaders, influencers, and motivators. The Empower Hour with Jaresha begins now.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, amazing people, and welcome back to Empower Hour with Jaresha. I am your host, Jaresha Moore Smith, and it's another amazing Wednesday. And if this is your first time tuning into the show, I am extremely excited that you are tuning in because I believe you have the power to be great, have great, and do great. You just have to be willing to unleash your greatness and take action. Now, today I am going to be speaking on discovering your purpose and living in your greatness. When you discover your why, you let nothing, and I mean nothing, stop you from making things happen. Nothing stop you from making boss moves. Nothing stop you from living your dreams and just unleashing your greatness. So today I will share a little bit as far as how I discovered my purpose and how I am absolutely unleashing my greatness and living in my greatness. And it all started with that one word, and that is why. Why? Let me tell you this. When you discover your purpose, okay? When you discover your purpose, when you understand your why, when I tell you, it is truly amazing to know that you can be living in your greatness and be helping so many others. So for me, I knew that I was passionate about motivating, empowering others, and really help add value to others. And so tonight I'm going to talk about what that looks like, what that has looked like to me, some of the questions that I began to ask myself, because one thing I will tell you is when I discovered my purpose, I had to ask myself questions. Now, I know if this is not your first time tuning into the show, you've heard me say this before. It is so important for us to ask ourselves questions. It helps us get clarity. It helps us discover where we are and then where we're trying to go. And so maybe you're listening today and you're saying, I am still trying to figure out my purpose. I am still trying to really wrap my hands around what on earth am I called to do? What is it that I'm passionate about? And all of those. And so many questions that we ask ourselves, and it doesn't matter at what point in your life or what journey, where you're at on your journey. I started asking myself these questions years ago, and it helped me really tap into and even look back and reflect on what I was truly passionate about and my why. So I'm going to share a little bit about those as well. But before I jump into that, one of the things that I love talking about, and it's been a little bit since I've actually been able to speak on or even share some of these on the show. But I love quotes. Don't we just love quotes? We love inspirational quotes. And I want to share a few quotes because I think that quotes are so powerful. They have definitely helped me on my journey, and my journey of walking into my purpose, my journey of unleashing my greatness and discovering who I am and where I'm trying to go. And so I want to share a few quotes with you all tonight about purpose, and they are from my mentor and coach, John Maxwell. And so I let me just say this. I absolutely love quotes. And I really feel like John Maxwell has some amazing quotes about purpose that for me, again, I felt it so deep and down. And when you look at just your own journey and how it hits you, because you've heard that quote where you're like, oh, that's good, that's really really good. And so I'm hoping that as I share some of these quotes with you tonight, that you will also begin to tap into just understanding what that quote really means to you. So when I listen or when I hear or come across a quote, it's not just that. I actually try to dive into it and discover what it really means to me and how I have either applied it in my life or how I can apply it in my life to help me become more successful, to help me really truly live in that greatness. And we are in this world where we have access to so many different resources and tools, and I really feel like we don't utilize them like we should. Even if that means, perhaps putting a couple of quotes on post-its and posting them up so you can, look at them and really affirm, repeat them, and begin to apply them to your life. So there are a few that I'm going to share. One being one of the quotes by John Maxwell that he says, success is knowing your purpose in life, growing to reach your maximum potential, and sowing seeds that benefit others. Now, if I listen, let me tell you this. If I don't say anything else, I am going to say that I really feel like this quote sums up purpose. Oh my goodness. I mean, yes, it talks about success because we all want success in our life in some way, shape, or form. You want to be successful in all the areas. And I always say there's 5 key areas of our life. So we have relationships, we have health and wellness, we have financial, we have spiritual, we have personal and professional development. You want to be successful in those areas of your life. And we know that we all want to find out our purpose. And that is tied to and knowing what our why is in life. Why are you passionate about the thing that you're passionate about? Why is it that certain things just really affect you, so much more than other things? So that was a couple of questions that I began asking myself when I was looking at what is my purpose? What is my purpose? What is it that I am super passionate about? And so years ago, as I began just asking myself questions and journaling and thinking on paper, that was one of the things I started thinking about. Like, what is that thing that I'm super passionate about that I can even remember back, years ago, even when I was a little girl, as far as different things and experiences that was happening, different situations and circumstances, how that was my go-to. Like, I always wanted to empower others. I always wanted to be able to motivate somebody. So when I would hear someone that was going through and I wanted to be able to help them. I wanted to be able to, truly inspire them and encourage them in some kind of way, shape, or form. And so naturally, and I'm not saying that I didn't get discouraged and I didn't have those moments when I was feeling, unmotivated. However, it was always my go to that I wanted to help, put a smile on somebody else's face. If someone had some kind of issue, I wanted to be able to help them. How can I help you, get motivated? How can I help you with accomplishing, these goals and all of that? And so but I didn't realize that when I was in the midst of doing those things. I didn't realize that was my purpose and what I was called to do when I was in the midst of helping and provide and being that listening ear to someone. I did not realize that until I began asking myself, well, what am I truly passionate about? So what is that thing that I felt like I could just do for hours upon hours and hours upon hours, right? So I'm going to give you, before I even go on to any other quotes, because I feel like this is a perfect opportunity to actually share 3 questions that I started asking myself years ago to help me really discover my purpose. And so one was, what is it that keeps me up and excited at night? Like I just said, like, what keeps you up at night? What is that thing that it just impacts you so much, and you just get super excited about it? So for me, I'll tell you, it wasn't just motivating and empowering others, because I truly am excited about being able to pour into others and knowing that they're receiving it and being able to take action and do something with it. So that wasn't the only thing for me. It was actually being able to plan and organize as well. And so for me, I started mixing all of that together to be able to help people in so many different ways. But ultimately, it all came back to being able to add value to people. Truth be told, that is the reason why I am a part of the Maxwell Leadership today, is because when I was looking for a certification program, I said, I need to be able to add value. By then, I knew what my passion was, I knew what my purpose was. And then I began to look for resources that was going to help me in developing some of the skills so that I could go out and help and add value to others. And so that was the thing that would keep me up at night. I can't tell you how many times, either conversations I would have with other people, or just in hearing stories that would be shared from others, where they would literally, be down in the dumps, and just feeling just stuck in their life and not knowing how to push forward. And so I would always just had something in me where I wanted to help. I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't want you to feel sad. I don't want you to feel stuck. How can I help you? How can I empower you? Even if that meant sharing tools and resources that I had access to. And so that's what I was doing without even knowing that I was doing it. Okay, so one of the other questions that I ask myself is what is that thing that really makes you cry? Now, again, I have to go back to John Maxwell, because he says finding our purpose requires us to seek to discover two things: our passion and our giftedness. What is that deep desire set in your heart? The thing that sets your soul on fire? What makes you cry? What do you get most excited about? And what are you good at, right? So that was the thing, okay? When I tell you, I can think back to when I was actually in school, in elementary and also in high school, and I can remember when other kids would pick on other kids and talk about them, and it when I tell you, it really hurt me to the core to hear someone else talk about another kid, another student. Now, mind you, I was a student and a kid myself, but I had a hard time understanding how someone could purposefully put someone else down. And so I wanted to encourage, I wanted to tell that person, it's okay. I wanted to be that person that was in their corner, really trying to advocate for them, and speaking, speaking happiness into them and motivating them. And I didn't realize that then. It wasn't until years later, as I began to really dive into what is my purpose, what is my why, what is that thing that I'm just, that sets my soul on fire. And I'll tell you, that's exactly what it is. Now, those that know me know that it doesn't matter who it is, whoever comes into my circle, whoever I have an opportunity to connect with, I will always empower them in some way, shape, or form, because that is something that sets my soul on fire. That is something that I get so excited about. And when you get so excited about it, you do it without even knowing that you're doing it. And so that's what I was doing. That's what I continue to do now. Because that's just, again, that's something that I'm passionate about. Everyone that knows me knows that that is the thing that I am here for. The other question that I ask myself is, what would I do if if my days were numbered? And to be completely honest with you, that is, to me, it's making a difference in everybody's life. It's making a difference in other people's life, and being able to make an impact, being able to speak and pour into people. That is the reason why this show is even here, is because of the fact it is another platform, another avenue to be able to empower you all, and I enjoy it so much. My goodness. So when I started asking myself those questions, I began to really tap into my passion and what I enjoy doing and what I can do late at night. And many times I have done that late at night, whether it's from social media posts that goes out, or speaking into someone over the phone or over Zoom, whatever, in person. I truly enjoy empowering others and helping them recognize their potential, because I believe that each and every one of you that is listening right now can be, do, and have what you want in life. And as I say at the beginning of every show, you just have to be willing to unleash your greatness and take action. And to me, it's all about your why and your purpose. So another one of John Maxwell quotes that he has about purpose is that if you are bigger than your purpose, you have a career. If your purpose is bigger than you have a calling. Now, this is absolutely powerful, because when I think about this and how it has applied to my life, certainly I've had careers. I have been in several different industries. But what I will tell you is that my purpose has never changed. I have always been one who wants to empower others for growth and success. It doesn't matter what position I have held in the past. It doesn't matter what organization I've been a part of, what club or membership I've been a part of, what networking event I attend. My purpose never changes because it's bigger. It's bigger than me. And I recognized that a long time ago. So I think that is so powerful. It is so good, because we have to recognize that your why, your purpose is bigger than you. And that is your calling. Now, another quote that I think that is just so powerful that John Maxwell has said is that a dream worth pursuing is a picture and blueprint of a of a person's purpose and potential. I'm going to repeat that. A dream worth pursuing is a picture and blueprint of a person's purpose and potential. Now, I've talked about dreams and how we have to follow our dreams, and how we have to be willing to keep pushing forward and let nothing stop us from pursuing our dreams. And I truly think that sometimes when it comes down to our dreams and purpose, we don't look at it in that way. That dream worth pursuing is a picture and a blueprint of your purpose and potential. And so I can tell you, when I was younger, I always had a dream of being able to really impact others, be able to help others in some way, shape, or form. And then I didn't realize what that looked like. Of course, now being able to speak and train and teach and coach other people, and then also being on this show and having this platform, it allows me to be able to continue to, pursue that dream of mine and really live in that dream of being able to help empower others for growth and success. So I think that that quote, one of, those three quotes that I just mentioned, was absolutely powerful. Absolutely powerful. The last one that I will mention that John, and trust me, he has many, 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 many wonderful quotes about purpose and so many other things. But the last thing I definitely want to mention is the quote where he says, actually, it's two quotes. So one that says, we cannot become what we need by remaining what we are. We cannot become what we need by remaining what we are. Now, if this quote does not cause you to look at yourself and ask yourself that question, because ultimately we are all becoming. And when you look at your purpose, look at your why and where you're at now, and then where you're trying to go and where it's going to take you, it's all about becoming. Ooh, that is so very powerful. It's so very powerful because I think about how, even in the midst of me trying to figure out what my purpose, my why, and really trying to discover that, because many of us say, oh, I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what my why, I don't know what that is. But what have you done in order to find out and discover what that is? So I'm going to say, stop saying, I don't know what it is, and start asking yourself questions. Start doing your research, your due diligence for finding out how you can discover. There's so many books and tools and resources out there that is there to help you in discovering your why, your purpose. And once you start tapping into that, you will realize, okay, you will realize that you already have that within you. So it's not going to come from a book. So when I say start tapping into resources, I'm not saying you're going to find your purpose in that book. You're going to find your purpose in that tool, that resource. What I'm saying is your purpose is already within you. But what sometimes we need something to pull it out of us. We need that tool, that resource, that person that's going to help pull it out of us. So that's what I mean. I needed to clarify that, because I don't want you to think that when I say you need to find and discover your purpose, that means you need to go out and pick up a book and find your purpose in that book. No, 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 no. It's going to help you in asking yourself questions so you can begin to get clear. You can begin to gain clarity so that you know what your why is, what your purpose is, and you will discover that you've known it all along. And that's exactly what happened with me. I knew it all along because of the things that I have been passionate about. But it wasn't until I started asking myself those questions that I discovered that. Now, the other quote is, when you find your why, you find your way. And if that quote right there does not make you want to absolutely just jump for joy, because when you find your purpose, you find your way. Now, again, those that are listening that's saying, I don't know what my purpose is, I'm still trying to figure that thing out, I need you to know and understand that that's okay. But it's not okay for you not to be doing anything to discover your purpose. That is what I want you to pull from this show for today. What are you doing to discover that purpose? So when you find your purpose, when you find your why, you will find your way. And that is so true. It is so true. It was evident when I began asking myself questions, when I began sitting down with my journal and saying, and even praying as well, saying, Lord, help me discover my purpose. Help me walk into my purpose so that I can begin to help others. And I will tell you, that is when I found my way. When I sat down and got clarity for my purpose, my why, then I was able to find my way and know the direction that I needed to go and the platforms I needed to start and know who I needed to reach, how I needed to reach them. But it came first with discovering that purpose. And each and every one of you have a purpose. Every last one of us have a purpose in life. And once we learn, discover what that purpose is, when I tell you it is just something that sets your soul on fire, it's something that you're extremely passionate about, that you can't help but keep pushing forward no matter what, even when there's distractions, even when you have negative naysayers coming your way, even when it doesn't matter who, what, when, it doesn't matter what comes your way. When you know your purpose, you are going to continue walking that way. You're going to continue living and unleashing that greatness. Nothing is going to stop that. And I'll tell you this in closing for today, that, you know, when I discovered my purpose, when I tell you it was truly it was amazing, because of the fact that I was like, my goodness, all this time I have been doing this. People have been reaching out to me to get advice. I've been listening, I've been giving advice, I've been empowering people, I've been providing resources, I've been providing tools, I have been inspiring others. I have already been in this and did not realize that I had been walking in my purpose all along. But when I discovered that, I could own it. I knew I knew my way then. I knew I could walk confidently in my purpose and the things that I was trying to do and the things that God had for me to do. So in closing, I would just say this, that each and every one of you has a purpose in life. But you have to be willing to discover your purpose. To me, that is what living in your greatness is all about. And once you start living in your greatness and you recognize and know what that purpose is, can I tell you that no one will be able to stop you. No one, nothing. And you've heard me say this on this show before, because I think it's so easy to let other people distract us. Okay, it's so easy to let people come in and take your peace and bring that energy that we don't need. But know this: if anything, if you allow anything in, if anything destroys your peace and distracts you from your purpose, then we have to know that it's not from God, and which means it's not something that we need to be a part of, entertaining, or even allowing to have access to us. Now and again, I just want to close out today's show, and it was a really quick show because I really felt like I needed to really speak on discovering your purpose and how we just need to be willing to discover that purpose and live in our greatness. And I think at times we think it's supposed to be, this really extensive, program or, roadmap that we need to follow in order to discover our purpose. And that's not the case. That is not the case. You have a purpose within you. You have so much potential within you. You just have to recognize the greatness that you have within you so that you can begin to discover that purpose. And don't let no one tell you that you don't have a purpose, because you do. You have a purpose. You have a why, but you have to do something about it. You can't just let people dictate and control your narrative for your purpose. You have to begin to set your own narrative. You have to begin to discover that. And in closing, if you could go anywhere, ask yourself, where would you go? Where would you go? You see, we are all on a journey and we're traveling, okay? We're traveling inevitably towards the end of our lives. And so the real question is whether we are going to select a destination and steer a course for it, or allow ourselves to be swept along with the tide, letting others determine where we'll end up. So it's so important to know your purpose. Discover your purpose. And for many of us, the key is to have a dream. Now, the next show, I will have some amazing guests coming up that I'm going to be able to allow them to come in and share their stories and journeys to empower you all for growth and success. But I'm also going to do another show this month that is going to be based on dreams. Because I think it's so important how we really need to understand how our dreams and our purpose intertwine and how they relate. So I thank you all for tuning into the show this evening. I thank you all from all over the world for your continued support each and every week. You know, you all are absolutely amazing and all from all over the world. Okay, you guys show up every single week and I appreciate that. I thank you all so much. Please continue to tune in to the Empower Hour with Jaresha show next week at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, where I will have a guest on my show that will be coming on to share her amazing story and journey to equip, encourage, and empower you for growth and success. So until next time, amazing people, stay safe and be blessed.
Thank you for listening to the Empower Hour with Jaresha, where Jaresha speaks with leaders, influencers, and motivators who share their journey in personal and professional growth, empowerment tips, lessons learned, and keys of success that will empower you to your best self. Follow Jaresha on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Jaresha Moore, and visit www.empoweronpurpose.com. Remember to be intentional and be empowered, and have a great day on purpose.